Assalamu alaikum dear students, it is nice to see you again and I welcome you back on cell cycle part 2 mitosis. Before going to talk in more details about the mitosis, first let's have a flashback at your previous videos. If you remember, we studied about the cell cycle. That cell cycle or cell division is a series of events that cause the cell to replicate itself. Also, if you remember, we studied about the important phases of the cell cycle. It means we studied about the IPMAT. IPMAT was the abbreviation for entire cell division periods or phases. If you remember, I meant interphase, which possessed G1, S, and G2 phases. The remaining parts are M phase. In M phase, there are prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase. Exactly. So the IPMAT was abbreviation for the entire cell division. So if you remember, also we studied about the two different types of cells that we possess, and that they are categorized into body cells and sex cells. It means into diploid cells and haploid cells. In today's video, we're gonna study about mitosis, which results to produce a diploid cell from diploid cell. If you remember, we say that diploid cell are those cells which possess two sets of chromosomes, and haploid cells are those cells that possess only one set of chromosomes. For example, a sperm and egg cell were haploid cell, but another remaining cells that you can see inside your body and outside of your body are composed of diploid cells. So let's talk about it in more details. Okay, dear students, before going to talk in further more informations about the mitosis periods and phases and which kind of metabolic reactions are gonna happen inside the mitosis, first we should know about the significance of mitosis. It means what is the reason that living beings are evolved in order to use such a important process or method in order to replicate themselves. So after studying mitosis, we should have a result that mitosis is used to produce an identical cell. In other words, during mitosis, one cell divides to form two identical cells. It means it is a process which we're gonna use to produce diploid cells from diploid cells. It means by having one diploid cell, you're possessing two diploid cells after mitosis cell division. Let's talk about another major purposes of the mitosis. In mitosis, we will understand that it is gonna use in order to growth and also to replace worn out cells. Let's have a look at this picture. You can see many similar cells that are embedded inside a sac or vacuole. These are possessing external similar features, so we can say that it is emerged from only one cell after fertilization of two haploid cells. It means when a sperm and egg cell fuse together, they form fertilization, and on that point the mitosis begins. Mitosis begins that results trillions of cells that we possess today in our body. So in further divisions, you can see that the cell's anatomical phase or the cell's physiology is assigned to the mitosis division. How mitosis works and how it obtains the order and the exact map of producing and the exact anatomic and physiological parts of the body. So we can say that the exact map of the different type of cells are embedded inside the cell nucleus, and inside the nucleus we can find these ordered sorting inside the DNA molecule, that is the genetic information. So now we know that mitosis is gonna use to produce identical cells. Also, it is gonna use to purposes of growth and replacing worn out cells. And also one of the most important and major purposes of mitosis is this, that plants and most of animals are gonna use mitosis to reproduce their offspring. It means mitosis is also used in asexual process that are used by plants and most of animals. Let's talk about mitosis itself. As you're seeing the exact picture or referring with chromosomes. Inside the chromosome you can see it is a normal cell, and also with many different steps that are possessing different kind of external features that you can see. So see first the starting point and the end point. Mitosis result that one cell is going to divide into two identical cells. During these two steps, many other steps are going to happen. Let's talk about it in more details. From a starting point, when the process happens, here chromatids are gonna condense into chromosomes. It means the tangled split out DNA molecule is gonna condense into visible structures that we know it as a chromosome. And another further division step that we know is the metaphase, and metaphase to centrioles are gonna change its place. It places into two different pools of the cells. Then they will produce spindle fibers that will attach into the center of chromosomes that we know it as centromeres. And in anaphase, these sister chromatids are gonna split and move toward two different pools of the cells. And the final stage here, as you see, two cells are produced. And this phase of mitosis, cytokinesis, is going to happen. In cytokinesis, cytoplasm divides. It means the nucleus, and also different and other organelles are reformed. The only remaining thing is the cytoplasm, that in this phase it also replicates and splits into two identical cells. Thank you so much, dear students. This was mitosis. See you on cell cycle part 3. It means meiosis.